How are you standing? Your readings show critical trauma. Because quitting isn't an option.
This shouldn't be possible. We push through when others give up.
His reading said critical. He was examining anatomy models, HFY SciFi. The medical readings made no sense. Dr. Kael stared at the data cascading across the holographic display, his large golden eyes narrowing with clinical confusion. The human's vitals were critical. By every measure of physiology that the Keltharian medical science understood, Major Ryan Pierce should have been either dead or completely incapacitated. And yet he stood there in the center of the medical bay, breathing, cognizant, and refusing assistance. His neurological stress response is off the scale. I reported, my long fingers gesturing across the neural scan hovering in the air. His cardiovascular system is compensating for multiple micro-ruptures. His left kidney is functioning at approximately 20% capacity. And yet he remains standing. Dr. Kael said quietly, his voice carrying the tone of scientists encountering something that shouldn't exist. I had been part of the team that retrieved Major Pierce from the crashed human vessel. He had emerged from the wreckage himself, walking, not running, not crawling, walking with his weapon drawn and his tactical gear covered in blood that appeared to be his own. When our medical sensors scanned him, we'd flag him for emergency extraction. We had expected to be extracting a corpse. 3 hours into examination, he was still breathing, still conscious, still asking about his crew. What's his pain threshold assessment? Dr. Kael asked. I pulled up the neurological data. Impossible. His pain receptors are firing at maximum capacity across 70% of his body. By our understanding, he should be in neurogenic shock. His consciousness should not be possible. Dr. Kael walked closer to the human, studying him with the careful attention of a researcher examining an anomaly. Major Pierce stood still, his dark eyes tracking our movement with military training, his jaw clenched but his breathing controlled. Can you understand me, human? Dr. Kael asked. Yes, Pierce said, his voice rough but steady. Loud and clear, document. Your medical readings indicate critical trauma across multiple systems. Your pain response indicates you should be unconscious. Your body should be failing. How are you maintaining consciousness? Pierce's lips curved slightly, not quite a smile, but a recognition of the question. Because quitting is an option. Document. My crew is still out there. I'm not going to be useless if they need me. Dr. Kael exchanged a glance with me. In my 30 years as a physician, I had never encountered a biological entity that prioritized mission completion over physiological necessity. The Keltharian medical model was built on the principle that the body's self-preservation instinct overrides all other imperatives. We understood pain as a warning system. We understood injury as a limitation. The idea that a sentient being would override their body's desperate signals because of psychological commitment was outside our parameters. We need to run more detailed scans, I said. There's something in his neurochemistry we're not reading correctly. We spent the next 6 hours taking every scan we could devise, every measurement, every test. What we found was increasingly disturbing to our understanding of biological function. His endorphin levels were through the roof, but not naturally elevated. He was somehow consciously suppressing his pain response. His adrenaline production was enhanced far beyond Keltharian norms. His neurological architecture showed evidence of deliberate overriding of warning signals. His body was screaming at him to stop, to rest, to die if necessary, and he was simply ignoring it. It's not possible, I said, more to myself than to Dr. Kael. And yet, Dr. Kael replied, gesturing toward where Pierce stood, still upright, still conscious, still asking about his crew status. By the time we finished all possible scans, it was clear Major Ryan Pierce was not going to survive his injuries through our medical technology. The damage was too extensive, too distributed across vital systems. But he was also not going to stop trying until his body literally gave out, which gave us a choice. "I can offer you a chance," Dr. Kael said, approaching Pierce again. "We can place you in stasis. When you wake, you'll have access to medical technology that hasn't been invented by your species yet. You can be fully healed." Pierce looked at him for a long moment. "And my crew?" "Rescued. They're aboard this vessel. They're asking about you." I watched as something shifted in Pierce's expression. The determination that carried him through every scan, every test, every moment of agony seemed to have a foundation now. Not just survival for survival's sake, but survival with purpose. "Then I'll take the stasis," he said, as we prepared him for the medical procedure. "Dr. Kael, pull me aside. What do we do with the data we collected?" I understood the question. In the Keltharian medical database, humans should not exist. Not like this. Not with this capacity for override, for denial of basic biological imperatives. We had every scan, every readout, every measurement of a biology that functioned on principles we'd never encountered. We document it. I said finally, and we study it, because whatever we just witnessed, it might be the most important discovery in modern medicine. 3 months later, Pierce walked out of the medical facility. The stasis and treatment had healed him completely. But what fascinated us far more was watching him interact with his crew, watching him immediately begin assessing exit strategies and planning for contingencies. "Your species is fascinating," Dr. Kael told him as Pierce prepared to leave. "You don't calculate survival based on probability. You calculate it based on something else, something we don't have a measurement for. It's called duty, Doc," Pierce said. "Humans have a lot of species-level adaptations, but the one that matters most is this. We don't quit. Not on our crew, not on our mission, not on each other. It's in our biology now. It's in our bones." As his shuttle left the docking bay, I pulled up Pierce's complete medical file one more time. I added a note to the analysis. "Recommend humans be classified as unsurvivable determinate species, capable of functioning far beyond calculated biological limits through pure will and commitment. Recommend extreme caution in conflict scenarios. Humans do not fear death. Humans fear letting down their team. This is far more dangerous.